All right. So, good afternoon. My name is Hillary Highslope. I'm the executive director of the Clewiston Chamber of Commerce. I am joined this afternoon by Commissioner Emma Byrd and by Mr. Edward Smith. Both Ms. Byrd and Mr. Smith are candidates for Hendry County's District 1. They're, both running for that seat, for the Hendry County Commission seat for District 1. There are my words. So welcome to both of you. Thank you for joining me. We're happy to have you. A few housekeeping items in as far as Facebook goes. We have it pulled up. We can see the comments that are coming in. If somebody asks a question that, no version of that question was included in what we're asking today, we may jump to that if we have time. If not, it's okay. We do have another one of these candidate forums after you all, so I do need to, stay on time. But I encourage you both to monitor the Chamber's Facebook post, this live that we're doing right now. Go back in, whether someone watches this right now and we don't get to their question, or this evening, or 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, whatever the case is. If they have a question, you can go back and answer and continue to speak directly to your voters that way. So it's a very useful tool, in my opinion. I'm probably a little biased because I'm a fan of the Chamber, but I find it to be a pretty useful tool. But we'll start out with introductions. Mr. Smith, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself and tell the voters a little bit about you, that would be great.
Thank you, ma'am. Hello, everyone. Good people. My name is Edward Smith. I'm a resident of Hendry County, Florida, born and raised, Clewiston, Florida, graduate of Clewiston High School. I'm a local business owner, entrepreneur here in Clewiston, and I'm looking for your support to be Hendry County's next county commissioner of District 1. Thank you.
All right. Ms. Byrd?
Good afternoon. My name is Emma Byrd. I'm a resident of Hendry County, have been for the last 45, 50 years, and I'm very happy to be here and happy to serve my community. I'm a mother of 3. I've been married 41 years. I've been in the school system for 38 years. I've been county commissioner for the last 8 years. Before I had the title, I was a server to the community when I first got here. So I really appreciate it. Looking at me as the person that I am, and looking forward to staying in this seat for another 4 years. Thank you so much.
All right. You guys are doing your job on keeping me on time today. I appreciate that. All right. So we will start out with you, Mr. Smith. What qualifications and experience make you the best candidate for the Hendry County Commission District 1 seat?
I believe that my experience as an entrepreneur and as a business owner here in Hendry County, I've been a legal investigator and a security specialist for over 20 years, combined with my entrepreneur journey, starting my investigative firm here and my security firm from scratch. I had to learn necessary tools to run a successful business, problem solving, critical thinking, and leadership being some of the most important of those. And I think that it's those qualities that are essential in being a successful county commissioner here in Hendry County.
Great, thank you. Ms. Byrd, the same question. What qualifications and experience make you the best candidate for Hendry County Commission District 1 seat?
The qualifications that make me the best person for Hendry County seat, I believe, is just being myself. I've been in the community way before I had that title as commissioner. I served the community. I served them in the school district. I served them in organizations. I love my community, and 8 years of experience and 66 years of life takes me to that place. So what makes me best is just that I have a heart for people, and I work with people. No, I don't always shine in areas that like Facebook, but I believe that what you do when somebody give you a job, you do it to the best of your ability, and not to get brownie points or not to be seen, but my reward to come at the end from the Lord. So I believe that makes me the best candidate for Hendry County Commissioner.
All right, thank you. Ms. Byrd, we're going to stick with you for the next question. What are your top 3 priorities if re-elected to the Hendry County Commission, what would be the top three things you would want to accomplish within your term?
My top three, first of all, is safety. The second one is housing. And the next one is infrastructure. And the reason why I say safety, because there's things that's going on in our community that we need to get a cap on. And with saying that, I have worked with Department of Juvenile Justice. I am the chair for Department of Juvenile Justice, have been for the last 2 years, working with the Sheriff Department to bring in different programs called The Gap, where I work with the youth to cause them to blend in and work with the officers to cause them to grow. We also have a program coming up with Noble, saves us called Know Your Law. So you have to build and teach and educate. So them are two of my top. But the next one is infrastructure for housing. So with housing, we have rezoned with the county, with the community, rezoned some areas that's commercial to cause it to have housing. Like for instance, if you had a business at the bottom, you can have housing at the top. We also are working on taking small properties, bringing them together that you can have affordable housing on them. So them are my top three, and we're working on them, and we see some things coming to pass, and hopefully we'll see some changes in the near future. But that's not a individual fix. That takes a county, it takes the state, and it takes the government to make those things happen. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Smith, the same question. What are your top three priorities if elected to the Hendry County Commission? Um, what would be your
If
top three?
elected to Hendry County, I'm sorry, man.
That's okay. No,
Did
you're
not
good.
mean to step on you there. My
No.
apologies. If elected, my top three priorities are investment in youth programs, infrastructure investment and workforce development, and government and police oversight, accountability, and transparency. Um, I'm committed to fostering and enhancing programs that provide safe places and spaces for the youth. By investing in our youth, we can create a brighter future for our community. As far as infrastructure and workforce development, I aim to address our economic needs and infrastructure by developing and advocating for infrastructure projects that would attract new businesses and invest in skills training for our workforce so that they'll be ready for said jobs so that our community can move forward. And as far as government and police oversight and accountability, I think that's crucial and essential. Um, we have to ensure that our government and our police are held accountable and they operate with transparency. I will work to implement policies that promote oversight and that will build trust between the community and our public servants.
All right.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you both. Mr. Smith, we're going to stick with you for the next question, and it would be, how will you address the economic development needs of Hendry County?
The economic development needs. As an entrepreneur, I understand that. I understand the importance of implementing policies and programs to support local businesses, to support the expansion of local businesses and attract new businesses. And by pursuing infrastructure development coupled with those skills training I talked about earlier in education, we can create an atmosphere and a workforce that attracts new businesses. And again, investing in our infrastructure and educating the workforce would also help to sustain and help with the economic growth.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Byrd, how will you address the economic development needs of Hendry County?
How would I develop it? It's already been in place. Working with the Henry County School Board, along with U.S. Sugar, there are different developments in place as far as nursing programs, welding programs, diesel programs to educate our youth on the next level. One thing I learned is that the next generation is not engaged. So even with U.S. Sugar, they pull in so many workers to come in and give them a 3-year plan to educate themselves and also give them a job. So we have to pull them in, and that's what we're doing. We're making sure that they're in place to get these things as far as the diesel program, where there's a lack. So we find out where the lack is in nursing, CNAs, and we promote those programs. And those programs are there. We just have to engage in those programs, but they are there and they're in place. Now we have to get our young people mindset to do what needs to be done. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Ms. Byrd, we're going to stick with you. What are your future plans to improve infrastructure in Hendry County, including roads, utilities, and public services?
So the future plan to improve infrastructure, road, and utility is already in place. We're already working with the city, working with them as far as the drainage system's concerned. We have pipeline working with the city that runs our way down 27. So when we grow, these things are already in place. We're looking for the infrastructure um, to as our community grows. So these things are already in place, even for housing, even for the new process that we're looking forward to. So those things are already in place. We got grants and we're moving on them. I believe that the pipelines are already set and they're already there, working with the city, working with the county to make sure these things happen. So we are getting ready for new growth. And matter of fact, we are ready for new growth to come in. So now we just need to make sure we have the proper land to establish these things. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Smith, what are your plans to improve infrastructure in Hendry County, including roads, utilities, and public services?
Well, as far as roads go, I plan to advocate to keep them upgraded and maintained to ensure safe passage and transportation. That also helps when you have safe roads and whatnot. That helps grow business. As an entrepreneur, those things are important. As far as the utilities go, enhance the reliability and accessibility. Another, we talked about infrastructure as far as affordable housing. You know, by improving our utilities and things of that nature, it can make it advantageous for developers to come in and and assist us with developing that type housing. When we improve the infrastructure for them, it kind of helps. And as far as service goes, I prioritize the enhancement of public service, such as emergency response and healthcare, as well as educational facilities. I think that education goes a long way, including with public service, educating the community on these things so that we can efficiently use them. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Sticking with you, Mr. Smith, how do you plan to ensure transparency and accountability in the county commission?
I will advocate for implementing oversight policies and developing mechanisms that would foster transparency. Mechanisms like boards, committees, things of that nature that would help foster communication between public service and the community that they serve. It also helps build trust and ensure accountability, I believe.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Ms. Byrd, the same question to you. How do you plan to ensure transparency and accountability in the county commission?
As I sit here today to implement transparency, that was a very important issue to me, and we have done that, making sure the right people is in place, making sure that they are heard, make sure that things that they don't want to come forth with, they able to come to me and make sure these things take place. So the transparency for people is like on a back burner because they don't want to come forth, but when they realize that you're able to talk to and you're easy to go to, it's happening. So I believe there's a lot of things that was put in place in the county for transparency, and it is taking place now as we speak. So thank you.
All right, we're going to stick with you, Mrs. Byrd. How will you address the needs and concerns of the diverse communities within Hendry County?
So this is a unique place in Henry County. So one need on one side of the county is not the need on the other side of the county. So I have learned to look at what's needed in certain areas versus what's needed in other areas. And my goals and my plans, as I have been doing, is make sure not just District 1 is taken care of, but every district is taken care of. Not just if it's you have hunger on the left, but who's ever hungry on the right. So you got to be able to look inside a person's heart that's unable to tell you their problem and be able to help them with their problem. So that's one of the things that we have done and we will continue to do in this community.
All right, great. Thank you. Mr. Smith, the same question. How will you address the needs and concerns of the diverse communities within Hendry County?
I truly believe in being a commissioner of the people and for the people. I plan to be the most accessible commissioner in Hendry County, uh, listening to the concerns and acting upon them. I pledge to represent all of Hendry County, not just District 1, and work towards a collective progress for the entire community. As a legal investigator, I've actually had I'll say, the privilege to work for a multifaceted, diverse set of clients, and I always approach that with objectivity and commitment to justice. And I believe that it's that experience that will prepare me to represent all the people of Hendry County as their commissioner.
Great, thank you. We'll stay
Thank you.
with you, Mr. Smith. What are your plans to enhance public safety and emergency services in Hendry County?
Emergency, it's imperative. As commissioner, I pledge to stay well informed and continuously review our emergency plans and our services so that we can stay up to date. I will prioritize forging relationships between law enforcement and the community to ensure that both have the resources they need.
All
Thank
right,
you.
thank you. Ms. Byrd, the same question. What are your plans to enhance public safety and emergency services within Hendry County?
How would I enhance public service in Henry County? We have done so many great things, and I'm so proud to make sure that public safety is in place. One of the things that when I got in the seat was that we patch. We are not patching anymore. We are purchasing items that's up to date, that's new, because it doesn't just represent the county, but it represents the people. We're making sure that EMS is not just stationed on one side of the county, but both sides of the county. We have even stationed them in the area of Blaze County, because we have to realize that lives are important, and at what cost do we set back, or what cost do we give in for a life? I don't think that you can put a cost on that. So we have made sure that things are in place, the equipment's up to date, and we constantly monitor that. So I'm very proud of the EMS staff that's here in Henry County. As we continue to grow, there's always improvement. So as you do your survey, you improve as you go along. There's always improvement. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am, and we'll stick with you. Ms. Byrd, what are your views on affordable housing and how do you plan to address that critical need for Hendry County?
You know, my first thing for affordable housing when I think about it is the land. And if we don't equip people financially, affordable houses they won't have. But one thing I learned the other night in a meeting that I didn't know, that as the impact fee come in, that we're able to use certain things from that impact fee to help with affordable housing. Affordable housing is not a county thing; it's a nation, and we are figuring out every kind of way that we can make this happen. Through fact, through the government, going in, building relationships with the Senate president to see what we can do for the infrastructure to get in affordable houses. And affordable houses is not a $3,000 home. Affordable houses according to your income that you have. So we have to not oversight of family needs, because $3,000 is not going to make affordable houses. We need something that's compatible to where you work. And our county is just not putting out jobs like that where we can afford that. So as we continue to build and grow, my responsibility as a county commissioner is to make sure that I pull with every resource to make sure these things come into our county and make sure they're suitable and responsible for our people. And we will continue to do that as we have in the past. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Smith, the same question to you. What are your views on affordable housing and how would you plan to address that critical need here in Hendry County?
Yes, ma'am. As far as affordable housing goes, it's necessary for a community to grow. Without affordable housing, your workforce, you couldn't sustain a decent workforce. So it's imperative. I would look at the reviewing and the revising of zoning laws to encourage developers to develop affordable housing. Maybe you can offer incentives to developers such as tax incentives and things of that nature. Ms. Byrd mentioned impact fees, very important. You know, when we are developing new communities, maybe those fees could be used in such a way, again, as incentives. If these are for low income housing or for affordable housing, I should say, you could give incentives for developers to do that. And I think another thing is we have a little bureaucracy sometimes, and I think the simplifying of the process could also lend a hand in this. I think they investigate the simplifying of the approval of the process, the approval process could also help developers in their cost and stop delays, and that would also help with cost. So I think that zoning laws, simplifying the approval process, and also rehabilitating properties that already exist. Possibly there are some infrastructure that can be used that already exists, and I think that a little research should go into possibly what can be done to develop said properties.
All
Thank you.
right. Thank you. Mr. Smith, we'll stick with you. What initiatives will you propose to promote community engagement and involvement in local government?
Uh, Going back, I'm laughing because I really believe in committees and boards. I know people get tired of hearing that, but you have to get everyone engaged. Everyone has to feel like they're a part of the solution because truthfully, we all live here. So we're all touched. My father would say something like, if it rains on the neighbor's house, then you're going to get wet. So I believe that it's important that elected officials reach out to the community, give them mechanisms that make them feel engaged, not just listen to them, but give them, put them on boards, put them on committees so that their input is reflected as well. Their priorities as residents will be met. Thank you.
All right, great. Thank you. Ms. Byrd, the same question to you. What initiatives will you propose to promote community engagement and involvement in local government?
Initiative that I would do to engage with local government is already taking place. We have community meetings. I do have the advisory board. Um, as far as engaging even more, a lot of people don't go to the county commissioner meeting, so they're live and they can engage that way. It's the same way now they can impact by emailing, texting. But I'm very personal, so I get phone calls. People come by my house. I'm very open. My house is open, where people call me, come by, see me, whatever I can do to help. So when they have questions, um, I do thorough research for them. Whatever it takes to make that person comfortable, whatever it takes to make that person engage, I do that. I send information out to the churches. I do community meetings and everything is live. So I do think that's an important piece. I try to return every phone call. Whatever I need to do to communicate with the community, I'm doing that. So I'm very grateful for the community support. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. And for our final question, we will start with you, Ms. Byrd. What steps will you take to promote fiscal responsibility and effective budgeting within the county commission?
I'm very grateful. One of the things a lot of the commissioners, when it comes to budgeting, we try to make sure that our trim is not where it's out of control. So, like this year, we came down from 7.1 to 6.9. When it comes to the budget, we want to make sure that not only in the budget that we're able to stand or put something back, we want to be able to also support our workers in our community. So our budget is set in a place that is to sustain the community, so to sustain the county, to make sure we have workers, to make sure that we're able to keep up with the growth. And that's a hard spot right there, keeping up with the growth that's around us. But I think we have done a great job. Are we perfect at it? No, but we're getting better and better as time changes because you have to be able to be flex and have flexibility when something come around or you don't clean out your own budget. So we try not to clean out our own so we are able to stand. And with that being said, with a 6.9 trim, I think that the county is doing a great job of making those things happen. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Smith, the same question for you. What steps would you take to promote fiscal responsibility and effective budgeting within the county commission?
I would prioritize the budget. I would ensure that essential services were well funded while avoiding wasteful spending. I will seek physical responsible means to fund needed projects. I mean, that's one of the things that I think that the community should understand that there are projects out there that we need and they need to be funded. But it's not always reaching into the coffers of the county. Sometimes it's a matter of a combination of local and state government. Maybe it's as far as reaching out to federal government to help fund some of the projects that we want. Meanwhile, keeping a physical eye or responsible eye on the things that we have, so we don't overshoot our budget. Thank you.
All right, great. So that concludes all of the questions I have. There were no comments yet on our Facebook page for this particular Zoom meeting. But again, I encourage you to watch, just go in there and drop like following or drop why you should vote for me or whatever you want to post. But post something, because then Facebook will notify you every time anybody engages with it. You'll get a notification, and that could be beneficial to you both as candidates, to know like, oh, I need to go check that and see if they're ask me a question or whatever. And I want to go ahead and take a minute to thank you both for joining us today. It means a lot to the chamber. This is one of our probably most well attended, I'll use loosely since it's online, events that we do each election cycle. So I always appreciate the candidates taking time to speak with us and speak with your community. Now I will turn it over to Mr. Smith and give you 3 minutes to speak directly to the voters about why they should vote for you. And then immediately after that, Ms. Byrd, you're welcome to take your 3 minutes.
Thank you.
I would like to start by saying thank you to yourself for moderating, and I would like
You're
to
welcome.
thank Ms. Byrd as well. Thank you, Ms. Byrd. This was very nice. Thank you. I would like to thank everyone actually for the opportunity to run and to serve. Hendry County is a great place with a lot of potential, and I'm committed to ensuring that we harness that potential. And again, I'm just privileged to have this opportunity. And thanks to everyone for their support. And again, thank you guys. Edward Smith, Commissioner of the People for the People. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Byrd, we will start your timer now.
Thank you, Edward. Thank you, Heidi. We appreciate the community, and we thank the staff at Chambers. I just, my heart is for the community. My heart is with the people, and I love what I do. So I didn't just start serving. I've been serving ever since I've been here. I started in the school system. I was with an organization called People Care, and then I moved on to the middle school, and I did a lot of things within the community. So I started serving as a commissioner 8 years ago, and I saw myself helping. I saw myself helping people, and that's what I love to do. I have a heart for people. I believe that you have to have a heart for people. You have to be able to see behind the badge and see behind their clothes and see in their heart to see what the need is. And our community have a lot of need. They have need that need personal touch, and I believe I'm that person. So I appreciate everything that's been done concerning me. People that have helped me, reached out for me, behind the table, in front. It doesn't matter. But we as a community have to come together. And I still say it takes a village. It takes a village, and you can't start serving now. You should have already been serving in the community. And if you're not serving, I encourage you to jump on, take a part. Any questions you have, we're here. Not just myself, the county's here. Engage with us. Let us help you. Let us continue to help you. So thank you so much, and I appreciate my 8 years of serving, and I hope I'm able to continue to serve. I am a server, and I believe in serving my community. Thank you. A heart for the people, Emma Byrd.
All right. Thank you both so much. Thank you again for joining us. We just appreciate it. We appreciate the engagement so much. And we look forward to a nice, smooth election process and seeing which of you comes out victorious. We're excited. I think that the community will turn out in great numbers to vote. So thank you. And if the chamber can be of any assistance to you down the road, don't hesitate to let us know. We're always available to assist. All right. You guys have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Thanks for
Have a
having me.
wonderful. Thank you.